How do you guys feel about AI creative people using AI in order to enhance or improve their project or improve their productivity? I've had this conversation over and over and over again. I've had it with writers, poets, business people, students, and the consensus goes back and forth. A lot of people do feel, especially writers, feel that using ChatGPT or something similar is cheating. Um, if you could write, you could write. If you can't, you can't. And I agree with that to a certain extent, because if you were writing before ChatGPT, then you're gonna if you're gonna use ChatGPT, then you're gonna continue to write. Am I getting more crazy? What the hell? Anyway, you're gonna continue to write. You're not gonna just start writing now that you have ChatGPT. If you're a writer, you're a writer. You're a writer with pen and paper, then you're gonna write. You're gonna continue to do that. But I don't think using ChatGPT is cheating at all. And I know a lot of writers be like, "Oh, if you're gonna write, you can write," and this and that. Back in the day, I know of several writers who there was no ChatGPT, but what they would do is we're gonna do an outline, have an idea for a book, do an outline, and ghostwrite. Okay, and there are a lot of writers used to put out so many books, and that's how they used to do it. They would get someone else to write the book. Were they cheating? Because because that bag was big. They used to pull mad ducats. People would look forward to their books. I'm not gonna name any names, but if you are an avid reader, you'll be able to peek back through history and see the authors that used to put out 8, 10, 12 books a year, and make you think about it. And there were authors that were very open about it. Yeah, I put together an outline. I have an idea for the story. I know the characters. I know how I want this book to go. I know the feel and the direction. I'm currently working on this book and this book. And so, yeah, I outlined and I gave it to such and such and such and such. And they included them in the byline, you know, written by such and such. And then, along with, in smaller font, of course, because their name was to pull. Their name was the one that was actually pulling the bag. But how is that different from ChatGPT? Hmm? I don't think that it is. I really don't. When you write something, when you write a story or what have you, and then you have someone else look at it and get feedback, and that feedback helps you to rewrite that story, or it influences the final product. How is that? How is it different? I'm sorry, the table is shaking because I'm trying to. I got to go to the doctor in a little bit. And of course, it's different because it's people and it's people and it's people. But even if you went to Fiverr and okay, I have this outline, and you send it out. I need you to produce this for me. Now you just don't have to go to Fiverr, for that. I'm sure people still use Fiverr and go to Fiverr for other things. And this is no dig against Fiverr at all, because I'm sure that they are still very viable and you get a lot of work done using platforms like that. But how is using ChatGPT different than using other people to help influence your story, or using someone else to take your rough draft, take your ideas, your thoughts, your character nuances, and influence your end product? Because that's what it is with ChatGPT, in my opinion. When I use ChatGPT, um, there's usually a huge paragraph. I go to Google Docs, and then I put my ideas down, and then and I change what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, but it's usually raw, nothing that I could. It's just raw thoughts. I'm just throwing my thoughts down, and then I give that to ChatGPT, and we see what we come up with. And if I like it, I like it. And then I take it and I polish it and I fix it. I put my own voice on it. But I don't even have to say I put my own voice in it, because my voice was on it before I even gave the details to ChatGPT. But I make sure that it's leaning the way that I want. It's make sure that it's going in the direction that I want. Now, I'm not trying to write where I'm, Nobel laureate, or I am, pushing out books or anything. But I like writing. I have a YouTube channel where I put my stories on. But that's not the point. The point is, I want to know if you think what YouTube thinks, what my community, what my people think. Do you think using ChatGPT is a cheat? And if you're not a writer, or if you're slapdashing it together, wouldn't that show? I've listened to so many stories, and I can tell when somebody just like, because you've not proofed anything. You just put anything into 11 Labs, and 11 Labs is reading whatever you put, and it's just like, did you read it? Did you listen to it? Did you hear what it said? Do you care? And sometimes I think people just don't care. Sometimes it's like, it's quantity over quality, and I think there's a point to that too. I guess you just want to get it out, and in order to get the bag. And the small mistakes may not be that big of a deal. But I want to know, do you think that's cheating? Let me know what you think. Tell me in the comments. Y'all have a good day.